Boker Tov, we are in Mishlei Perek Tet, Pasuk Tet. Ten lechacham v'yechkam od, hoda letzadik v'yosef lekach. Also a little bit of a famous Pasuk. We spoke about the Letz and the Rasha, the joker, the wicked person. Now we're going to be talking about the Tzadikim. Give to the Chacham wisdom, and he will become wiser. Hoda letzadik, give to the Tzadik, let known the Tzadik, v'yosef lekach, he's going to give more. So, first we're mentioning here the Yosef Lekach. The Yosef Lekach is a great rabbi wrote his explanation on the Megillat Esther called the Yosef Lekach. When we did Megillat Esther, I would quote it because it's always together with the Pirush of the Gaon of Vilna. Baruch Hashem was zochet to be at his kever in Krakow, the kever of the Yosef Lekach. Okay, just wanted to mention that. Now, the Pasuk here talks about two types of tzaddikim. Just like there's two types of Rishayim we spoke about, the Letz and the Rasha, so too there's a Chacham and there's a Tzaddik. A Chacham, he says, is like the opposite of the Letz. We said a Letz is a person who is a Rasha, but only in his dibur, only in his speech. And a Rasha is a Rasha with his actions. Here too, a Chacham is a Chacham in his speech, and a Tzaddik is a Tzaddik in action. So it means Chacham is Tzaddik Chacham is a Tzaddik in his speech, meaning in say Torah, in his tefillah, and etc. And of course he does mitzvot as well, but his main thing that he's known for is Chokhmah. Chokhmat Torah is Chacham. Tzaddik, a person can have a name Tzaddik in action. Tzaddik does righteous things, he does chesed, etc. You could get the name of Tzaddik, not necessarily connected to Chokhmah. It's still, of course, in Torah, which is mitzvot. You get the name Tzaddik that way. So there's a Chacham and there is the Tzaddik. The Chacham is with more with words, and the Tzaddik is more with action. And therefore, when you give 10 lechacham, v'yechkam od, give him more chokhmah, he's going to become wiser. Hoda Tzaddik v'yosef lekach, give to the Tzaddik, he's going to add more and more mitzvot. And he says over here that there is 3 levels in the good and 3 levels in the bad. He doesn't explain the levels really, but he says the 3 levels in the good is kasher, tahor, and mutar. The 3 levels in the bad is pasul, tameh, and asur. But he doesn't get into further than that. Okay, one more pasuk. Techilat chokhmah yirat Hashem, v'dat kedoshim bina. So we have a pasuk we say every Shabbat. Reshit chokhmah yirat Hashem, which is in Tehillim. Here, the beginning of wisdom is fearing Hashem. Here it says the word Techilat Chokhmah Yirat Hashem. Not sure the difference why, the Gaon doesn't explain. I didn't look into the difference. So here, in Mishlei, from Shlomo Melech, Techilat Chokhmah, the beginning of wisdom, is the fear of Hashem. V'dat Kedoshim Bina. And the knowledge of the holy ones is Bina. They have a next level of wisdom, because we said Bina is Lahavin Davar Mitoch Davar, which is you already have knowledge, and now I'm understanding from this knowledge to advance my knowledge. So the knowledge of Kedoshim, of holy people, is the next level knowledge. So here, he gets into this concept of Techilat Chokhmah Yirat Hashem. The beginning of Chokhmah is fearing Hashem. So he says that we know in Pirkei Avot, Im en yira en Chokhmah, ve'im en Chokhmah en yira. So it's like a back and forth. If you have no fear of Hashem, you have no wisdom. If you have no wisdom, you have no fear. So what's first? So he explains as follows. He says that there is a concept of Allah b'machshava, and then at the end you create. So it came out in your mind to do something, and something else came out. So machshava, he says, is the tachlit, is the purpose, meaning why am I doing this? I have my thoughts as to why I want to do this purpose. So, and then you do the action. So he says the tachlit always has to be Yirat Shamayim. That's Techilat Chokhmah, Yirat Hashem. The beginning of your wisdom is Yirat Hashem, meaning Yirat Shamayim is first. So you want to apply your wisdom in any way, it has to be on the backdrop of Yirat Shamayim. Okay, so that is on the backdrop is Yirat Shamayim, and then when you come to the action, you're using your Chokhmah to do the action. So now he goes and explains as follows. He explains with an example. There's a statement in Chazal that says when Hashem created man, so Hashem created Adam Arishon, and Chava was taken from Adam, from his rib. Was made, so Hashem didn't make another lady separate, but made a lady from the man. And Hashem explained that the woman was on the back side of the man. She was just like two people. So she was in the back, and she wasn't alive until that separation happened. So, but there's a statement that says, Allah b'machshava, Hashem thought to create two separate people at the onset. But no, he decided to build them as one person and then separate them. So what's going on over here? Does Hashem have there's another statement like this, that Hashem thought to create the world only with deen, only with judgment, but then no, created the world with judgment and chesed. So did Hashem, was he, okay, I'll do this. It doesn't work like that with Hashem. So what does it mean? So he explains that Allah b'machshava means, what's the backdrop? The backdrop, we said, Reshit Chokhmah, Yirat Hashem. The beginning of wisdom is Yirat Shamayim. So he says like this, the machshava was to create two people, a man and a woman. Because that's really the tachlit. A woman is to help a man. How could it be helped if you're attached? It doesn't work like that. It's the way we know it, a husband and a wife, as two separate people. But Hashem created them as one and then divided them. Why? So he explains to show us that we have to recognize that our relationship with our wife is different than our relationship with any other person, even with our parents. Because Hashem says and shows us, we were once created as one, husband and wife. Adam and Chava were once created as one, and therefore you've never created as one with your parent, you've never created as one with your sibling, you've never created as one with anyone else. And then Hashem separated us to show, because that's the tachlit. That's why the machshava was, the tachlit is create them as two people, separate people, because that's the way it's going to work out. Hashem created us as one to let us know that that's the way things should be. That's the way things should be. And then he separated us, okay, so now live, to show us that the way it's supposed to be is your relationship with your wife is the strongest connection. So too, Allah b'machshava, the backdrop was deen. The backdrop was deen. Hashem created as chesed and deen, but remember that the backdrop is supposed to be judgment. I mean, there's reward, there's punishment. Okay, there's chesed as well now in the world, but there's judgment, there's punishment, there's reward when a person does the mitzvot. And therefore, tichilat chokhmah yirat Hashem, when we're coming into wisdom, I want to use my wisdom to build something. I want to use my wisdom to speak. I want to use my wisdom to... What's the backdrop of everything that I'm doing? Has to be Yirat Shamayim Bezrat Hashem. Baruch Adonai Le'olam. Amen v'amen. Rabbi Chananya ben Akasham v'ratzah kadosh baruch hu lezakot et Yisrael leficha chi ba'alem tomas shenemar Adonai hafez man tzidko yagdil Torah ve'yadir.